In today's video, we are going to be doing a trading recap of Friday's trading day. So we posted all of this trades basically in Discord before we're doing it, and now we're just going to kind of explain why we're doing this sort of stuff so you can start understanding the trade process, and it's not just say kind of like calls going out into a Discord. So first thing posted was about 22 minutes after the open. Watching these levels is key. Once we hit one, then we will look to trade. If we hit the high levels, I want to see divergence for short, and if it comes to the retest lower, and if momentum holds on RSI, we can look to relog. So what this basically means is, using this SPY as an example, if price pushes up to here, what we want to see is divergence, like we're already kind of getting over on the RSI. However, we're not currently getting any on the MACD, so what we would want to see is divergence on both of these into this price, and if we get that, then we can look to short back down. However, on the other case, if we came into this level first, again what we're looking for is momentum to hold so we can continue long. What is considered momentum hold? So what we'd want to see, mainly using RSI for this, is RSI we want to be seeing holding above the 50 line. So again, the way the RSI works is you have a 70, 30 line. That is default. What we do is we add in a 50, and then we can use these as boxes. So basically, if we're staying in this box zone, you expect momentum to continue to the upside, and that's how we'll look to trade it. So that's kind of the initial trade plan that was thrown out and what we were looking at. Now, going into about 15 minutes later, 5 minutes later, we're starting to see weakness on the retest, so we're looking to short. And why do we have weakness? So again, if we go back to, we can go back to the photo for this. Going back to the photo, again, we've broken straight down below this 50 line nearly instantly. So again, we were looking for the box to hold. It did not hold. We went straight through. MACD is coming back down to a 0 line as well. So again, most likely showing you this level, our over-under level, is not going to hold. So then we can start targeting lower levels. And why did we have this 529.45 as our target? So what this fibbed out here is our news. When you fib out news, we tend to use 5 minutes, and what you expect to see is a 50% retrace. Again, some exceptions, if you've got CPI, PPI, kind of these massive movers, then we don't really trade the strategy as much. But on smaller things, I think this was jobs or non-farms, depending on how it moves, sometimes non-farms will be a no trader, and that's more if we open and we just fly. We're not going to come back to trade this level. However, in a case like this, you can kind of see we swung up, swung down, and then we kind of consolidated around this level, then did a bit of a push up. So it's not a super strong move either way. So coming back to test this 50 can be quite likely. So that's where we get our target from. That's where the level is created. And again, what you expect is a price to at least touch this, and then we can create a new bias, because whether we want to continue up or down, we're going to most likely need a retest of that level before we can do that. So we'll trade towards that. And going further on, 10 a.m. we had a big swing. This was again another news article, or not article, I can't remember what this one was. It might be an ISM, but either way. So again, we had our original news fibbed out here, and what we'll look to do is now something a bit different. So in there you can see our target was hit. That was what we were looking for. And again, if we stayed in, you can look to target the bottom of that range. Range was completed. But now what we want to see is expecting zone to fill, but at a minimum purple line on both. So what this basically means is, again, we had this big move created, and we can actually go onto the main chart for this now. So this move was created, as you can see here. Now, what you expect to happen on these kind of big, again, this is basically news like how we traded it before. We're looking for that same sort of thing as we come back and we test normally the 50. In this case, actually, what you can see is we didn't quite hit that 50 line, and that's why we use these kind of 3 golden lines. What we call this is a golden pocket, and we expect at a minimum that's kind of your main TP at all times, but we can use these as kind of areas to make sure we're not taking losses. So if we come and hit, in this case, to 61.8 like we did there, there's no way this should ever turn into a loser. Either you take your profits a bit early there, or you at least move your stops to break even. So we got our touch there, and again, that will work quite cleanly. And again, that's why, or we said actually at a minimum should be that middle line. I don't think we did quite hit that, but again, it's the same thing. We always see us post out kind of those 3 lines, and again, you're always looking for the closest one at a minimum. So we had that, and again, this is the same. We've been focusing more on QQQs. The exact same thing. If we go over to the SPY, we fib that out, go into there, hit to the penny, and then dropped and just continued down. So now that level is essentially complete. Now what do we do going further? So again, being patient for entry on this, we'll keep cracking down, but this, as this was off news, we'll be jumping in the trade later than normal, waiting for proper confirmation. Therefore, we can have a stop in place. So again, what do we tend to use as more confirmations as well? In a case like this, you're normally going to want to move over to a 1 minute, so we can change this over to a 1 minute. And again, because these are normally more scalp trades, you're looking to get in and out a bit quicker, so we can refib that move, which would be there. Again, that's going from 10 to 10:05. That's our 5 minute fib. And what you can see is we kind of have that quick green bounce. So the way I would look to trade these, if it's a smaller move like that, we can jump in as soon as that green candle closes, place your stop below, target there. If that's still a 1-to-1 or roughly a 1-to-1 minimum, then again, that's still a golden trade. We can trade that into the at a minimum 61.8. So that's how we would normally look to trade those and give a bit of confirmation. If we're looking for longer term trades, again, then we're going to be looking down at RSI and MACD, and if these line up even on these smaller trades, that would be ideal. But again, sometimes these are quicker pace trades. You don't always have time to wait for confirmation. But what would be confirmation? So you can see it essentially shied here. It didn't hit to the exact penny. So this you can consider actually not hit yet. So this is what we needed, the actual hit. And how did we then get our entry cleaner? And again, we said we were being patient on the entry anyway. And what did we need? What we can look for is a divergence. So what you can see is lower low is created, but a higher high on the RSI has been created. That is a divergence showing you that this movement down is getting weaker, allowing us to target this upper 61.8. Now what you'll see over here though is we did not create a divergence on MACD. So if we want those A-star setups, we're not going to trade this one because these both don't align. If you want the A-star setups, these both align. But in a case like this, again, I'm always normally happy to take it. I'll just take it with a bit less size. If you're seeing it on RSI, you're getting that breakdown. Again, we kind of shied that level. We want to come in. We're still expecting that hit. And not only that, you do need to start thinking about what are other things we expect to see. So this orange line here, what this is the 10 SMA from a 5 minute chart. So this will show no matter what chart we're on, but it's the 10 SMA from a 5 minute. And here, again, we just failed it here. We got our divergence, but we're still very far from the 10 moving average, and you tend to kind of trade or retrace to it quite often. So we're basically playing catch up. We didn't catch up here. We haven't quite touched that level yet. So as we break lower, we have our divergence. Not only does it give us kind of more insight into still touching this level, because we still need that touch, but it will let us play catch up to the 10 SMA, again, giving us more confirmation, more reasons for a price to push that way. Now, going forward, what else do we say? So again, this is Mo Jones just asking for what it's a confirmation. That's why I said I'd make this video so we can start talking and kind of explaining this all a bit better. I don't know if that was it for what was posted. No, we did take some more trade skill. And then going to 10:55 AM we posted, we will now have a double 50% to fill after this move. So looking for some scalp longs. So what is this again? So if we zoom back out again, we'll go back onto a 5 minute just to make everything clear. So we now delete this line, and then we had this massive candle here. So what do we do again? We draw the 50. We draw the fib, and where do we expect price to hit? Coming into that 50, or at a minimum, again that lower fib level. And this one had a lot of confirmation, because not only did we need it, so again, we close here, the 5 minutes close, we can just try and run it up, just kind of scalp it straight up to there. We were trading at a divergence, not on the MACD again, but we were doing it somewhat on the RSI. And again, this is the original 5 minute fib over here. yes, we hit the lower line, but we still haven't hit that 50, and we do expect most 50s to hit like we did here. So again, this is kind of more confirmation just to bring us up, because we expect this one to still come and hit. In this case, on this date, we didn't come and hit that high one, but because we have this lower one, you know, this one has even increased odds to hit, because again, this one needs to hit for that one to be able to hit, and that one's still a likely hit. So that's how you kind of can fib these together as well to provide an even cleaner trading opportunity. And then again, kind of 11:30, all sort of done for the day. You got the 50 line completed quite quick. You even completed near enough the whole fib. And again, we were seeing some kind of struggle to come and hit this line, but we had hit the range originally, so we kind of just gave up on that final move, because again, it's only a few cents when you go and actually look at the grand scheme of things. We hit the 28 target, we just didn't quite hit the 28.50. So again, that's just a bit to leave on the table, but if it doesn't work quite quickly once you hit one of them, you know, we're not going to keep trying to trade into those opportunities, because the chance of them working out is obviously going to be a lot lower. So that is kind of a big breakdown of everything we were looking at on that Friday, because Friday was quite an easy and kind of clean trading day, and just using a lot of basic technical analysis, using fibs. We didn't really need many indicators, so it was something you could do really on any platform. And again, it's quite an easier way to kind of get into looking at kind of how I trade, I would say, using fibs on days like this where there's very obvious big swing candles. Again, this was news. I believe this was to do with, this was Trump's tariffs or reciprocal tariffs. This was, I believe, ISM, but some sort of news. And again, obviously, then we had our, I believe that was non-farms pre-market. So 3 different news candles kind of used in well, this one was used differently. The pre-market ones we used a bit differently, because obviously as option traders here at this channel, we're going to struggle to be able to trade options obviously pre-market, so we'll have to trade this level a bit differently. However, this one and this one can be used the same, and it's normally just to try and trade a quick retrace to that 50%, or at least the range of a 5-minute fib on it. And you can trade 2 sorts of fibs. Again, you can always do it kind of on a 1 minute as well. Just depending on how it swings, it can be harder to get in. So again, that would be your 1 minute candle. You can see we hit the 50 and the 618. So again, if you kind of bought kind of at the low of the candle, but again, if you're buying the close, it kind of closed where we would look to trade. So there it wouldn't have been as clean. On this tariff news, it would have been all right to trade the 50 off the 1 minute, kind of hit that the next minute. So again, this is just something I would start looking at whenever you kind of have big news candles. They're definitely the intraday ones, but even the pre-market ones, and just start seeing how often they come back and kind of retrace that kind of golden pocket. You'll see it time and time again. Quite an easy trade plan. Again, the options make it a lot easier to manage the risks. It will be harder to do on the futures or underlying shares, and again, that's one of the reasons why we trade the options, because it is a lot easier to manage risk on trades like this. Anyway, I hope that was helpful. Hope to see you next one, and that's it. Peace.